Yeah, the Packers are still trying to work to find solutions here, and in their ideal world, they do find a way to bring him back. They're not really taking people's trade calls at this point, and they're still hopeful that they can find some kind of resolution with Aaron Rodgers. I don't talk to too many people that have it nearly as high as John Kuhn's 70 to 75%. Sounds like Rodgers is pretty dug in, so we'll see where that ends up. Meantime, the Packers need to add a couple of quarterbacks if they're going to have enough for mini camp and training camp. So they're exploring the veteran market, maybe a free agent signing, maybe a trade for an available guy like a Gardner Minshew and Jordan Love, who was their first-round pick last year. They have to work to get him ready in case he has to be the starter. So they'll get him as many reps as they possibly can once on-field work starts this spring and try and get him up to speed to see if he's ready to take over if, in fact, Aaron Rodgers does not plan to return.
Jeff Saturday, I can't imagine 3 weeks ago anyone thought there would be a world that existed where we'd be talking about Aaron Rodgers not being in Green Bay. But you played with Aaron Rodgers. How do you see this whole thing playing out?
Listen, Ryan, this is a relationship business. I played center. I wasn't even a franchise quarterback. And before the Colts were going to take another center or a guard that could move to center, Howard Mudd, my offensive line coach, would at least let me know, right? It's just a respect thing. What ended up happening is you've made this a personal attack on Aaron Rodgers because you didn't clue him in. And you could think he's whining. You could think all these kinds of things about Aaron Rodgers. But he's a competitor, and he's done his absolute best for Green Bay for the past 16-plus years. So when you talk about why we're in this situation, it's on the Packers side. They have to continue to extend the olive branch. They have to eat crow, give him an extension, make him the highest paid or whatever that number is, but ultimately just let the world know he's our guy for the next 5 years or whatever the number is that Aaron wants to play. Because you put yourself in this situation, it could have been handled much better on the early part, even if you take Jordan Love, by the communication portion being improved. So would Aaron sit out? I absolutely believe he would sit out. Do I think it'll get there? No, because Green Bay understands they're right at the cusp of winning another Super Bowl. They've only gotten one under Aaron's, tenure there. They want to get another one. It's time to get the deal done. Go make it happen.
Bart Scott, hear me out on this one. I can't tell you how many times I've heard athletes, even the best in the games that they play, say it's a business. I understand it's a business. But the popular sentiment here is that in some way the drafting of Jordan Love offended Aaron Rodgers and maybe precipitated all of this. May not be the only reason, but at least it's part of it. So when you look at the Aaron Rodgers situation, if that is the case, is there a little bit too much sensitivity here on his part? Because after all, it's a business, and no one expects to be, in a sense, treated in a way otherwise in many cases.
Well, no, not at all, because Aaron Rodgers is proceeding as himself as a business as well. He's the CEO of Aaron Rodgers, Inc. And what he's saying is, you don't determine when my career is over with Green Bay. I'm going to determine that. I understand that it's a natural out of my contract in 2022. I understand that you guys thought I was done. But I showed you with my MVP season that not so quickly, right? We heard Dan Graziano talk about, he maybe had 2 seasons before the MVP season that wasn't up to typical Aaron Rodgers standards. But what he's saying is you chose wrong. You thought I was done and you were making plans for the future, but I'm trying to tell you I'm the present and the future. I've only played, I know I've been in the league 16 years, but I didn't play my first 3 years. There's a lot of tread left on these tires. Now I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to dictate where I go and when I play. And he don't want money. He wants control. He wants respect. The same thing that we saw Russell Wilson say, hey, listen, if you guys want me to make the meal, let me buy some of the groceries. Let me tell you what I need to be successful. And what he needs to be successful is great receivers around him and also the ability to have some control on the personnel. He doesn't want to see Tom going over and be able to play, reading GM for dummies. He wants to be able to say, hey, I want to be able to do it myself too. I want to be able to pick some of these pickers and play a little general manager. You didn't give me that respect, so let me move on. And where I go somewhere else, we know when great Hall of Fame quarterbacks go somewhere, they get all the power. You know what I mean? Because they're in a newlywed phase, so they're able to have more control and dictate more things in other places.
Graz, I saw you nodding your head. You want to jump in? Go ahead.
No, I just think that's a really important point that Bart raises about control, because when we go back to last year, when Aaron Rodgers spoke about the Jordan Love pick for the first time, one of the things he said was, his desire to finish his career, start and finish his career in the same place was no longer in his control. So he's looking now and saying, I just had an MVP season. Maybe I did get some of that control back. Let's see, and let's see how much I actually do have. So if there's a resolution that brings him back to the Packers, it'll be a lot of it will be on Aaron Rodgers' terms. Just the question remains, how far down that road are the Packers willing to go to keep him happy? At this point, the relationship does seem to be broken, and I don't know how they bring it back. But I think that's important for people to remember here. It's not just hurt feelings, but it's the idea that, hey, maybe I did regain some control over my own career's destiny that I didn't have a year ago.
Interesting. So maybe he's testing out the leverage that he has. So, Jeff Saturday, I'll leave it with you with this. And I'm going to play devil's advocate here because I think the popular sentiment is you got somebody like Aaron Rodgers, he should have control. But if you're on the team side, you're saying we give him control. Now, all of a sudden, we're beholden to Aaron Rodgers for everything we do on the team. So how does that all play out?
No, listen, look at what happened with Peyton Manning in Denver. Look at what happened with Tom Brady in Tampa Bay, right? He goes to a team with a very good, both of them go to teams with very good defenses.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.